Hi, everyone. This is James from Disaster Survival Network. Today we have the pleasure of interviewing John Wesley Smith of the website Destiny Survival. How are you doing today, John?
I'm doing okay.
Good, good. Thank you very much for being on the show. For everybody listening, John's website is DestinySurvival.com, and that's Destiny Survival, one word, .com. Okay, John, if you could, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into prepping, and if there was a specific why moment why you got into prepping. Why don't we start off with that?
Okay, well, it was back in the late 90s when my good friend Gerald France, who since passed away, but he was very much into finding out what was going on with Y2K, and that's what kind of got me and my family started into preparedness. I mean, it was the kind of thing that we were sort of aware of, you know, but the Y2K thing is what really did it for us because, you know, hey, it looked like really and truly the end of the world was going to come. And, you know, I mean, there was what seemed like some pretty credible stuff out there. And I would just say that, you know, I think that Y2K didn't happen because a lot of money was thrown at solving the problem, and I think it was God's mercy. It just wasn't time for things to happen in that particular way. But that certainly is what raised our consciousness about being prepared. And then as time went on, you know, I think we weren't thinking about it quite as much, but we homeschooled our kids, and I did most of the teaching. And when late 2007 rolled around, I was looking at the last year of teaching my kids. My son was a senior that year. We taught all the way through high school. And it was late in that year of 2007 when I was involved with a program that was all about helping blind folks get into Internet marketing. I'm blind with some usable vision, and I was involved in this particular program that doesn't exist anymore, but I was not sure what I was going to do, and then it hit me that, hey, you know, the economy wasn't looking too good. What if I started a website that sold camping gear, preparedness gear, survival type things, because things looked like they were going to get bad. And interestingly enough, the government later on came out and said, you know, it was in December of 2007 that the Great Recession hit. Of course, they said later that it ended in, June or July of 2009. And I don't know of anybody that really believes that. But anyway, they, you know, looked back and said that late 2007 was when it began. And I thought that was kind of an interesting coincidence that that's about the time that I started Destiny Survival. And it kind of went on from there. I'll just be honest and say I don't have all the prepping supplies that I would like to have. I was hoping that Destiny Survival was going to really take off because I thought, hey, you know, if I'm seeing this, a lot of other people must be seeing it too. It didn't quite happen that way, and I was thinking I'm going to be able to earn some money on this by helping others get prepared, and I'll have enough to be able to get my own preps. That has happened to some extent, but, you know, it hasn't happened to the extent that I had hoped that it would. But it's been an interesting adventure. And then it was in 2011 when I got involved in doing Destiny Survival Radio, and I'm still doing that. I'm not with the network that I was with before, but my podcast, which is what it is now, Destiny Survival Radio, is heard in a couple different places, and so, you know, I think that's pretty cool. And you know, I've gotten favorable responses to the podcasts that I've done, and to you know, articles that I've written, especially book reviews, you know, from authors that I've interviewed and so forth. So that's pretty much how I got into preparedness and the website in a nutshell, a big nutshell.
Well, it's always been amazing to me because John and I have known each other for a number of years now. Your ability to persevere and to just keep moving forward based on your situation is just really inspiring, John. And sometimes if I'm like, I get down about something or other, and I can always pick up the phone and give you a call, and you're always a great inspiration to people. So I greatly appreciate that. And for the listeners, again, it's destinysurvival.com. And John has some really fantastic podcasts, which we're going to be rebroadcasting some of them for him. He's also got a really wonderful prep mart, which if you're getting into prepping or you're into prepping, I would highly suggest that you check that out. And if you purchase something, John will get a small commission. It does not cost you, the end consumer, anymore. For example, if you were buying something from Wise Foods, or what's one of the companies that you're working with, John?
Oh, I have several. Emergency Essentials, Nitro Pack, those are just a couple of the big names that people would recognize. The Ready Store. And as far as the Prep Mart goes, yeah, it's basically just a gateway to ads. And people might say, ads? What? Well, this is just it. I mean, it's your gateway to these different companies. And, lots of folks are probably shopping with those companies anyway, or maybe they're names that they recognize. And like you just said, if folks go and buy something from there, I get a small commission, and it doesn't amount to a whole lot, but it accumulates after a while.
And the key thing is that the end consumer does not pay more for the product. It comes right out of, for example, Emergency Essentials. They'll pay you the commission. The end buyer pays the exact same amount, whether they go through your website or they go through Emergency Essentials directly.
Right.
So it's a great way to help people such as yourself out there that are trying to educate people. So I highly recommend people go to Destiny Survival and check out the Prep Mart. Again, he's got many great podcasts, informative podcasts where you can learn about things. And also you have a article section, which we are, John has been kind enough to let us republish some of his articles in our bi-monthly magazine, and so you can all the listeners can look forward to that. I've downloaded about 30 articles so far, so we've got
cool.
He's got a wide variety of topics, and we'll be publishing a lot of them, of course, with a link back to John's site. So that's how you got started, John. What are you currently working on, and how can we at Disaster Survival Network assist you in any ways? Any big projects underway, or?
Well, I'm just pretty much taking it day by day, week by week, month by month. I don't have any books in the works or anything like that. What I try to do is point people to where they can find the information, or like we were talking about in the Prep Mart, where they can find the products that they need. I mentioned my friend Gerald France earlier. He thought at one time I should be the Google of survival and preparedness. Well, that's that's rather lofty. It's something that probably not one person or one site can do. But as you mentioned, I have tried to write about a variety of things over the years that I've been doing the site. And so the stuff is out there for anybody that wants to find it. And that's the beautiful thing about the Internet. I figure people are going to find it if they're looking for it. I've been in radio broadcasting before, and you have a pretty good audience there, but, it's kind of hit or miss, The one thing about the Internet is it can be fairly targeted as far as who the audience is, and thanks to search engines, and maybe just word of mouth too from time to time. People that are looking for it can find it. So, like I said, I'm not really doing any big projects right now, but I'm going to keep going until I get some direction not to go this way, and I just want to keep pointing people to the best resources that I know of, and there are plenty of them out there too, and that's the thing. There has been an explosion of resources over the last few years because people really seem to be interested in preparedness or survival or living a simpler way of life or, figuring out some way to save money or whatever it is. And, I just hope I can be a conduit for somebody that's wanting to do any one of those things, and, maybe what I offer can get them pointed in the right direction.
Excellent. And I'm looking at your site here, and I noticed that you are listed on topprepperwebsites.com.
Yeah.
And that, for the people listening, that's a site that you can go and you can vote for different websites. And John is actually the site of the moment right now.
Cool.
Destiny Survival is. So I'm on there, and I'm going to vote for you right now. If the people listening have a moment, if you could go to topprepperwebsites.com, and that's one word, topprepperwebsites.com, and vote for Destiny Survival. There's a lot of sites listed on here, and let me see if I can find you.
If you just go to destinysurvival.com. There's a place on the sidebar. There's a link on the main page when you go there to destinysurvival.com. It's near the top of the page there, and either way, people can vote for the site. I really appreciate any vote that that folks want to generate.
Absolutely. Well, you just got another one. John is down at 153 people, so let's give him a hand here and you move them on up the chain here. So please, if you would, go to Top Prepper Websites and vote for DestinySurvival.com. It's down at 153, so we need to give them a hand here. Now, John, one thing I've talked to you via the phone about is, and you're very, very humble about this. You mentioned that you are legally blind, and I think that there's quite a large population of people out there that that are in certain circumstances similar to yours, and again, you can really be an inspiration to them, and I think that would be a great topic to write a ebook on, and talk about your history and how you've evolved. Something I'd be happy to talk with you off the air about, and there's a number of resources, and we're definitely going to, of course, have you on for more podcasts and push your promote your articles and so forth, but definitely an inspiration, and really commend you for that. Now, what do you have any plans for the future? Are you going to any expos? Are you going to start writing that book? What's going to be going on in the future for you?
Well, before I answer that, let me back up and say that I do have a page featuring resources for those with disabilities, not just blindness, but there are several links there that go to some different sites that offer information on disabilities and preparedness. And I also have a listing of books in digital audio form that blind and handicapped people can borrow from their state libraries for the blind, which are part of the Library of Congress collection for the blind. So these are books on survival and preparedness, and some on gardening and that kind of thing. Some of the books that I have been able to read, and I thought others might want to know about those as well, to get a start. Obviously, there aren't nearly as many books in accessible format out there as there are in just regular print. So, take what you can get, and I hope that list proves to be helpful for somebody that is a borrower from the National Library Service system for the blind and physically handicapped.
And where would they go exactly on your page to get that? Is that the downloads page? Other resources?
That's a good question. I've got to, if you just go to the search box and type in disabilities, I have a feeling that's going to come up.
Okay.
I wasn't prepared for that question, so, but I do have it amongst several pages on the site. Yeah, so, if you type disabilities, I have a feeling it's going to come up. I have some posts that relate to that, not very many, but you'll probably find that page among the posts that are there.
Okay.
So, yeah, I hope that'll help folks get there.
Okay. And we'll find that specific page, and I'll make sure we include that in the write-up for this podcast.
Yeah, I can send you the link later.
Okay, great. You've also, I see, you've got a, and again, we will include this. You've got a Facebook page. You've got some videos on YouTube, and you also have a LinkedIn profile. Mm-hmm. So that's down on the lower right-hand side of the home page. I see you are helping our mutual friend Jim Kennard at the Food for Everyone Foundation,
right?
Which is excellent. You've got a download page, which on that right now, lots of great information. Also, links of interest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the links of interest page is huge. It's kind of unwieldy, so I've tried to go through and add subheadings and try to make it a little bit more easy to navigate. But there is a lot of stuff there.
Okay, and I see here that you have a subscribe to the Destiny Survival Dispatch,
right?
Which so is that a basically a monthly newsletter?
It's an email that I put out once or twice a week, sometimes more, but usually not less than once, and at least weekly. And a lot of the time, it is to inform my subscribers about what's going on with Destiny Survival Radio. So they can get the latest information that way, and I put links to the file itself, to the audio file that folks can listen to, and I also put a link to the blog post which I write about every Destiny Survival Radio episode, because a lot of times there are valuable links that my guests pass along to me, whether it's about their book or maybe it's about their website, or sometimes when I interview people, they give me all kinds of resources that maybe they're involved with, or like one gentleman recently talking about DIY projects. He had a number of places that he goes to online to get some really inexpensive supplies, and so I put links to those on there. And I don't make any money from that, but it's just as a public service to my readers whenever they go to the blog post about that particular show.
Okay, excellent. Well, there's certainly a wealth of knowledge here on your site. Definitely, we suggest everyone go ahead and sign up for your Destiny Survival Dispatch. And there's also a contact form on here.
Right.
If they want to contact you directly and maybe even be a guest on your show. Mm-hmm. That's definitely, podcasts are a great way to get to know people. I know we've interviewed some mutual friends, Prepper Pete's, which that podcast is going to be going up today, or actually just did go up. So please, the people listening, go ahead to DestinySurvival.com, and as always, we ask we ask all our listeners to take a moment and like John's Facebook page, and you can connect with them on LinkedIn. And definitely take a look at the articles and listen to the podcasts. Very, very good, solid educational information on this site. So, John, is there anything you'd like to say to our listeners as we wrap this up?
Well, you had asked me earlier what's in the future, and I guess I kind of answered that earlier to some extent, but I'm just going to, keep on keeping on until I get some direction to go. Otherwise, I don't know whether I'll be at an expo in the future. It's a little difficult for me logistically to get there since I don't drive, and it's sometimes not always easy to navigate a ride. But if one comes reasonably close to me, I'll certainly give it some thought, and it'd be kind of cool to go to one sometime.
Sure.
I figure I'm not the expert. Like I say, I try to point people to those who are, and I would certainly encourage folks to go to expos. But like I said, I'm just going to keep on keeping on until I get some clear direction to do something else. And I would just say, above all else, whether you're new to preparedness or whether you've been at it for a while, just keep at it, because in spite of the fact that it might get a little bit overwhelming, everything you do is better than nothing. I think most people are, lots of folks these days are, they're feeling in their gut that things are just not right, and things have been happening fairly rapidly in our country the last couple of years or so especially. And so, it's time now to get ready. Don't wait. Do something, even if it's small, even if it's little. And I've got a couple of interviews coming up here before too long with authors who have books out about how you can get started in preparedness for, little money or for, very thrifty methods anyway. So start somewhere and just keep prepping. That's my advice for the day.
Absolutely, and even if you start off by buying an extra each shopping trip, buying an extra couple of pounds of rice and some beans and some canned meats, yes, take those baby steps. Because you'll be very happily surprised at just how quickly you can build your 30, 60, and then 90-day food storage plan. The worst thing people can do is take no action at all.
Yeah.
And
I want to interject one more thing, if I
can. Sure, please.
I'm sorry for interrupting here. About 6 months ago, my wife and I changed churches, and I won't go into the whys and wherefores of that, but it's a smaller church, and it's one where we were able to become involved more readily, and we were very much accepted there with open arms. And it's not a prepper community per se, but the one thing that has come blaring out at me over the last probably 8-10 months, maybe even a year, from a number of different sources, and I mean wide variety of sources, religious, non-religious, New Age wacko, whatever. A lot of people are saying, get involved in some kind of community. Don't try to do this alone. So, I just felt like in our case, the church was a good place to be, and we're happy. I mean, we're serving the Lord there, and like I say, it's not a prepper community per se. I don't even know. I don't even know how receptive people are going to be to the message of preparedness, but it's one of those things where if you're not involved in a community of some kind, you're going to be in big trouble. So get involved in something. And I mean, I'm not saying that, the Elks or the Knights of Columbus or whatever, I don't know anything about those groups. I don't know if they're going to be the kind of community you want to be involved with or not. But whatever you do, get plugged into something where you're with other people in some kind of a like-minded sense, whether it's church or whether it's some kind of a prepper group or something else. Get involved with other people, because that, like I say, is a message that has been blared out at me very strongly over the last several months, and it just made sense to, like I said, to get involved in church at least.
Definitely, and one thing I tried the lone wolf approach, and that just doesn't work.
No.
You're going to meet a lot of great people. You have resources like John at DestinySurvival.com. You have James Stevens at DrPrepper.com. You of course have us at DisasterSurvivalNetwork.com, and we're all willing to help. You have great, and the thing is that each of us knows different skill sets.
Right.
For example, you've got Doc Bones and Nurse Amy at doomandbloom.net. Just wonderful, wonderful people, and I think for the listeners, you'll find that the people that we interview on DisasterSurvivalNetwork.com, they're really kind and nice people, and they're willing to help and help educate people, because we all started off from nowhere. We all had to take that first step, and people will be very pleasantly surprised at how friendly and helpful the prepping community is.
Right.
We all stay away from the doomsday prepper type stuff. I
have made some wonderful acquaintances and friends doing Destiny Survival Radio and doing DestinySurvival.com, and I am very, very glad for that. It's been a big plus for me, and I hope I've been able to give them some kind of benefit as well. But you also need to be plugged in somewhere face-to-face with other people locally if you can.
Yes.
Maybe it's your own family, or maybe it's, like I said, church or something else. You need both. You really need both to have a complete picture.
And now that you bring up family, one of the things I thought that was so cool about Prepper Pete's and Kermit's whole business model and philosophy is getting the kids involved.
Right.
And for the listeners, John has interviewed Prepper, the gentleman that created Prepper Pete, on
Kermit
at
Jones.
least two occasions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very important, is making preparedness fun for the kids and getting them involved and getting all your family members involved as early as possible. So it'll really help make everything a smoother ride. Because
my show last week was with Benjamin Ellefson, and he wrote an article about 5 ways to introduce children to prepping or something. I can't remember the exact title, but he came up with a 6th way when we were having our conversation, and so I wrote about that in my article about 6 tips on introducing children to preparedness. And so, folks might want to check that out. But, and if you don't have kids anymore, work on your grandkids.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you can still go back to the kids and talk to them about it, and maybe help them get a bug out bag set up and a 30-day food and water supply set up. And it's never too late. It's never too late to start, quite frankly, with anything in life. And as you and I have talked over air, I've had a major life change within the last 60 days, and it's been very beneficial. So don't be afraid to take that first step, and we all are out here to assist you and help you avoid some of the stumbling blocks that we stumbled over. So that's what Destiny Survival .com is all about. That's what DisasterSurvivalNetwork.com is all about. And I could list off another 30 or 40, and and these are the people we're going to be interviewing. So, John, I can't tell you how much of a pleasure it's been to have you on for the interview, and we look forward to doing more with you in the future. And we will be posting your articles, and I'll make sure you get a copy of the digital magazine, which is doing very well. We're doing over 15,000 downloads a month. That's cool. Growing rapidly, so we're happy about that. And to the listeners, we have been speaking with John Wesley Smith from DestinySurvival.com. Again, that's DestinySurvival.com. And this is James from Disaster Survival Network. We look forward to the next podcast, and thank you all very much for listening. Have a great day, everyone, and happy prepping.